In a lost town, deep inside, behind worn-out cobblestone streets, there is a mysterious old Catholic church. People are talking about a scary secret in its holy halls. It's a story that will test your bravery and keep you up at night. Get ready to enter a world where the difference between the real and the magical is fuzzy, where a headless ghost roams the shadows, and where the untold stories of brave people who dared to go inside will send chills down your spine. Get ready, because this story is not for people who are easily scared. Are you ready to solve the mystery of the church without a head and face the unknown? You are welcome to join us as we explore the deepest parts of this unholy place, where people are scared just hearing its name. Get ready to go on a trip that will make you question what you think you know and change the way you see the world forever. Welcome to Eerie Encounters and Hauntings. We are thrilled to have you join us for 2 new spine-tingling tales of the paranormal each week, stories that will make you shiver with fear and keep you on the edge of your seat. From haunted houses to possessed objects, we have the most bone-chilling tales of the supernatural. Get ready for a terrifying journey into the unknown with our bone-chilling episodes featuring blood-curdling stories that will send shivers down your spine. So hit that like button, share the horror with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Get ready to be transported to a scary situation with our next story entitled Into the Abyss, The Dark Secrets of a Church. It was shared with us by Elias, who's from Iceland. Let's get started. A long time ago, there was an old Catholic church in the middle of a small town that held a terrible secret. People who believed in God went there to find comfort, and prayers could be heard in the holy rooms. The church seemed peaceful at first glance, but it actually had a scary story that would make your blood run cold and give you chills. There was a story that the church's sacristan, a young man named Guy, had met an alien during the feared Braveness test. Those who wanted to become sacristans had to spend the night alone in the church and pray the whole rosary at midnight as part of a rite of passage. Guy walked into the dark abyss of the church with the trainer and his helper. He had no idea what horrors were waiting for him. As midnight approached, the trainer and his helper said their prayers and left, leaving Guy standing alone in the huge sanctuary. Only the soft whispers of his breath broke the quiet around him. He started his holy work with fear, and the words of the rosary fell out of his mouth as he shook. Guy felt a chill go through his body as the wind whispered through the church. He gripped the rosary even tighter, determined to finish the prayers quickly and get away from the stuffy atmosphere. Still, the air got colder, and it felt like icy strands were moving across his skin. The hairs on the back of his neck stood on end, and he felt a strange unease in his bones. Guy looked into the dark chapel and fixed his attention on the altar. In the middle of it all, he saw a shape, somewhat like a ghost, pacing back and forth. There was no light on the bottom part of the figure, which was wearing a white shirt or polo. Guy strained his eyes to try to figure out what kind of person this midnight traveler was. He was both interested and scared at the same time. But as soon as he fixed his eyes on the figure, he felt a terrible cold that cut through his skin like 1,000 icy pins. There was fear in every part of him, as if an unseen presence had entered his very being. The figure's movements became less steady, and in the dark, its outline turned and twisted. And then, Guy realized the terrifying truth: the thing in front of him didn't have a head. Guy fell backward, his heart beating like a drum. He forgot to pray when he saw this horrible sight. The headless figure kept dancing in a grotesque way on the platform, defying all logic and reason. Guy felt a rising panic that threatened to devour him completely. How could he explain something so supernatural? How could he explain why that ghostly shape didn't have a head? As the minutes turned into hours, time lost all meaning. Guy couldn't take his eyes off the disturbingly fascinating figure that disappeared into thin air, leaving behind a lasting feeling of evil. His mind was a mess of fear and confusion as he stumbled back to the sacristan's rooms. When Guy came back, his teacher was shocked and worried to see him. The sacristan tried to hide the scary truth about what happened because he knew that the next person to take the Braveness test would soon be facing the unknown. Sharing what he had been through would only make people afraid and hopeless if they tried to follow in his footsteps. But Guy had no idea that his friend, who would be the next brave person to go through the trial, would also have to face a terrifying being that lived in the church's darkest parts. It looked like the evil spirits that lived in that holy place loved torturing souls who dared to wake them up from their eternal sleep. As the scary stories about these encounters spread, people were both afraid of and revered the church. People were talking about the headless ghost and other scary things in the air, which interested people and gave brave people chills. People were warned by the disturbing sounds of these stories that it was easy to cross the line between the holy and the macabre inside those holy walls. As word spread about the armless figure, people in the town became interested in the church's dark secrets. They were drawn to the scary building like moths to a flame by a mix of fear and curiosity. Fear filled the air as whispers sounded through the streets. It was as if the very fabric of reality had been torn, letting a glimpse of the supernatural through. A reporter in the area named Lily heard about Guy's meeting and couldn't resist the allure of a scary story. She set out to learn more about the secrets surrounding the Catholic Church because she was determined to find the truth behind the stories. Taking her notepad, pen, and a heart that was both scared and excited, Lily went into the heart of darkness. The church's front door stood tall in front of her, its old wooden doors creaking open as if to invite her inside. The air inside was thick with dread, and she could almost feel a presence that made her skin crawl. She carefully crossed the barrier, and the sound of her steps echoed through the huge room. The pale moonlight that came in through the stained glass windows seemed to change the inside of the church. Shadows danced on the walls, and it looked like someone was choreographing their moves from behind. Lily couldn't help but feel like she had entered a place where the regular and the magical were mixed. She looked up at the altar, which was where Guy had seen the figure without a head. As she got closer, the air got colder. With each step, the temperature dropped. She felt a chill go down her spine, but her drive pushed her forward. She reached out with bated breath to touch the altar's cold stone surface, as if she wanted to connect with the spirit world. Suddenly, there was a gust of wind that blew through the church and put out all the candles on the pews. Lily was suffocated by the darkness that surrounded her. Fear filled her and made her think she might lose her mind. But she wasn't going to let fear control what she did. She grabbed a flashlight from her bag with shaking hands and turned it on, sending a weak beam of light into the hole. Lily's breath got stuck in her throat as the light broke through the darkness. The figure stood at the altar, and she saw it. The moonlight shone through its clear shape and showed that it didn't have a head. The thing without a head turned toward her, and its evil energy seemed to seep into her very being. Lily was having a hard time keeping her cool as her heart was racing. She knew she had to write down what happened so she could find out what was really going on inside the church's haunted walls. She held up her camera and took a picture with a shaking hand. The flash lit up the figure for a split second, freezing the scary picture in time. But as soon as the flash stopped, the figure was gone, leaving only a chill in the air. Lily just stood there, fascinated by what she saw. She was shocked and amazed at the same time. She knew that she had seen something that was not of this world and could not be explained. As Lily left the church with her notes and the scary picture in her hands, she knew she had found a story that would give everyone who heard it chills. The story of Guy and his headless meeting was just the start. It opened a doorway to a world of darkness and strange events that happened inside the old Catholic Church. People all over the town were amazed by Lily's discoveries, and mystery fans from all over the world were interested too. The church turned into a place where people who were interested in the supernatural could gather. People who are professional ghost hunters brought cameras, EVP recorders, and other tools with them into the haunted haven in the hopes of seeing something spirit-like. But no matter what they did, the church stayed a mystery. Its secrets were kept safe by forces that could not be seen. The headless ghost kept showing up in the dreams of people who were brave enough to join its domain. It was a constant reminder of how thin the line was between the living and the dead. The story of Guy and his meeting with the Headless being became part of the town's past and will always be linked to the church and its people. The building was a sign of the supernatural, a source of both wonder and fear. In case you find yourself in that small town streets, drawn to the old Catholic Church's strange allure, be careful. The shadows that move on its walls hide secrets that could change the way you see the world forever. The ghostly figure without a head may be just one scary story about that evil place, but you will still remember it long after you've left the haunted refuge. If this video left you spellbound, dive deeper into the world of chilling tales by joining our channel, Eerie Encounters and Hauntings. Access a treasure trove of bone-chilling stories waiting for you with new episodes 2 times a week. Spread the fear among your friends and family who crave a good scare and give them goosebumps. We'd love to hear your spine-tingling experiences as well, so don't hesitate to share them in the comments. You can also send us your story so we can feature it in one of our future episodes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay scared. Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. The stories depicted in this video are shared by people who believe they are true, but they have not been verified. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental. The views and opinions expressed in this video are those of the people who shared the stories and do not necessarily reflect the views of YouTube, Google, or Facebook. The channel does not endorse the views expressed in this video. This video is not intended to be used as evidence of any supernatural or paranormal activity. If you are experiencing paranormal activity, please contact a qualified professional.